Hi there, and welcome to the Colombian Catwoman podcast. And we continue with our series of Black expats in Spain. Today we have a fantastic guest, Daniel, in the house. Daniel, all the way from London. So, Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. It's great being here. It's wonderful, your idea here.
Thank you very much for responding to my call to action when I put the word out looking for Black expats in Spain. So here we are. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located geographically in the continent?
Okay, right. So my name's Daniel, as you know. I'm an international storyteller, writer, working with different organizations. I do a lot of other stuff as well, like charity work, especially around homelessness. I'm located in El Médano, which is amazing, just amazing. I'm just amazed, for all of the islands, and Tenerife is like just very, very magical. I mean, if you can really feel the vibration and the energy, even just of the sea, the local people, the smell of the food, it's one of the best places to live and work.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. So how long have you actually been on the island of Tenerife and in Spain?
Well, originally I came by accident, which was like in November. I was helping out a friend who was mentally not so well. And I'd come from France to help him, and he'd chosen Tenerife. And then he got better, he felt better. And so we went back in December, at the beginning of December. And then I was on my way back to France. And then lo and behold, the borders had been closed. Mm-hmm. And then I got this amazing call from Tenerife saying, no, Danny, some Italian people just said, no, Danny, you're supposed to come here. So, and then I came here on the 20th of December before the Brexit. And then only then did all the things happen that said, while you're here, use your right to claim residency status and enjoy our island, but also, help people that you can see along the way, which is what I do. And it's a reciprocation that is working all the time. It's amazing. And learning the language as well. I mean, I've already got French, and I'm very happy now to speak small Spanish, but I'm learning. I have a great teacher.
Yes, excelente. Me alegro mucho. I'm very happy for you.
Nintendo.
So Tenerife for you has been a good fit. You've been here for, is it just about 2 years, we would say? Was that
yes, I've been here for about 2 years, but it doesn't seem like it. The island as it's got its microclimates, mm-hmm. It's got its micro realities as well, and so everything is different all the time, every day. It's incredible.
Have you had a chance to explore the islands? I know that before we started recording, you said that you'd actually visited the island that I'm on, which is Las Palmas of Gran Canaria, the actual island. So have you had a chance to visit the other islands?
I haven't had a chance to go to Gomera or La Hierro or there's another one besides
Lanzarote and La Palma and Ventura.
Yes, I haven't had a chance to go to those ones yet, not yet. I've been kept busy here doing obviously the applications for the residency, then obviously some clients that are in different parts of the world. So I will get a chance, and then as I get visitors, as visitors come, then we start exploring.
Give you an opportunity, and a reason to get out and explore.
Yeah, that's how we came to Gran Canaria, because there was a visitor that came, so we came to Gran Canaria. It was that was amazing too.
I don't know if you're aware of the fact that being a resident on the island, you are entitled to a discount when you travel on the ferries, and I think on flights as well. So makes a big difference.
Yeah, the town hall has been really, really good. The SAC, as they call it, that's been very, very nice. All the girls there, that's like quite funny. They always try and, they don't let you. Well, they don't let me wait. They're always helpful and really, they're very patient with me in my broken Spanish and English. I'm sure they must be laughing sometimes, but I think when you give them a little respect, and I mean, I give them a lot of respect, not a little, but because I think they do amazing work. They're you know, they're just amazing people. So when I was there, I got the what's it called, the Viaje, the Certificado de Viaje, the certificate of travel, and I got that
the viaje. Okay,
yeah,
certificate.
okay, the viaje.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, I have to get more Spanish lessons. I know if Anna's seeing this, she is not going to be happy.
I'm sure she'd be, you know, happy that you're proud, and you know, you're a proud representative of the country right now, of the island rather. So if we think about what you do for a living, a bit of a personal question. If you want to tell us a little bit about what you do for a living, but I want to tie that into the cost of living. So do you find that what you do for a living and the cost of living of where you're currently living works out really well for you or not?
Yeah, it works out very well actually, because obviously you know, you have salaries from, I have salary from the US and I have a salary from the UK. So it works out quite nicely, in fact. And I really, and also at the same time, the cost of living here is relatively not as bad as being in the UK or even in the south of France, which is where I actually live. So, you know, so here it's very affordable and easier too. There's not a great deal of pressure around, you know, dotting the I's and crossing the T's over the financials. You know, you go through quite smoothly and quite easy. As long as you, how can I say, as long as you do your tax returns, you can, you know, you're quite fine.
So for you, I'm not living off of a UK salary, etc., etc. So for you, living off of a UK salary, the digital nomad lifestyle, life is very comfortable for you in Tenerife rather.
Yeah, it is. I'm realistically, I mean, when I say the salary is that I was very fortunate that when I got to like 25, I'd amassed quite some financials, and so I could afford to consult relatively as a hobby, really. So as I call it, well, as my mother calls it, pin money.
But that's the expat lifestyle, isn't it? And that's what we see, and we've seen our counterparts being able to do that, live freely, move freely, and work as they see fit, because they've, you know, had that fortune beforehand, done the work beforehand, or had the financial support beforehand. And so the point of today is that you're a Black expat living the exact same type of lifestyle, a very comfortable lifestyle, and doing what you want to do, a choice. Would that be fair?
Yeah, it's and here you have, you know, you have a lot of options, you have a lot of choice, but the fundamental, my fundamental upbringing, and like, as my mother is from Ghana, well, my mother was born in Ghana, Accra. And one of the things about her in our household is that the door is always open. And so in that house, I mean, and she's always in the kitchen, cooking. It doesn't matter who's coming through that door, she is going to feed them. And it's the same because she's very happy to be in the UK. She's extremely happy to be in the UK. And it's the same for me. I'm extremely happy to be on Tenerife. I can feel the vibrancy of the indigenous people, as well as, you know, the Africanness. Even if like we have that commercial area around us, they're still the locals, whether they know it or not. They're African.
They're in denial.
So you share that culture of food and some knowledge and respect and appreciation, and you share that with the people. I share that with the local people here in El Medana.
It's great to hear you say that, because we're on neighbouring islands and having very different experiences, which is great. What this is all about. Would you say that you've been able to integrate into the culture and meet local people and you know, make friends with locals or whoever you wanted to make friends with, and also get the support necessary?
I would say that they've integrated with me. I don't know how yet. I don't know how that has worked. Because the first time I got into the area, I didn't even go out for probably 2 days. I sneaked out to the shop, came back, stayed where I was. And then slowly people start to like, look around and they say, oh, hola, hola, bon dia, buenas noches, buenas tardes. It's amazing. And then you strike up the small little looks and the little conversations, and and somebody's dragging you to go to one cafe or to get some food somewhere else.
Wow. It's really a very different feeling on this island. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Yeah.
So what would you tell other Black expats that are thinking about moving to the island of Tenerife or Spain as a whole? What would you say to them?
I think realistically, some of the thinking that we had back in the UK or maybe in different places, for example, the USA, for example, they don't really work here. I think what I'm saying to people of color, Black people especially, is that first and foremost, recognize you are on an African soil, and the people that are local indigenous here, they're part of your tribe. And whether you know the language or not, it's good to say hi. Even if you can't speak the language, you go hi or bow, or an appreciation that they're alive, you're alive. And I think when you come open like that, that opens so many doors, so many possibilities, so many opportunities. It's wondrous. It's really amazing. Of course, there are downsides. Of course, there are. During the COVID time here, for example, some of the police were very, very heavy-handed. Not to me, they were, but to the people here, they were very heavy-handed. But you can, with a smile, you diffuse it. With a look, and you say, and you smile, and it's calm again. It's all calm. It's all calm. Things can be worked out. There's no need for the heavy-handedness, and they take notice. They do take notice, and some of that's what I've seen.
So I don't agree with your point of view, but that's your experience, and so I'm glad to hear that you're having a great time. But I live in the capital city, so maybe it's a very different experience living in a capital city where there are different pressures, different perspectives and different needs as well. So maybe if you had have lived maybe in the south or in the capital, maybe it would have been a different experience. So my question is, how do you feel when you travel around the island and go to other parts of the island? How do you feel?
I feel I feel difference in all of it's almost like the island actually speaks to you. It's very weird. It's almost like it's welcoming you. When I go to somewhere like Anega, I bump into somebody I've never seen before, and we're talking, and then I find out that person's been there for like years and years and years, and they're English and they was here for a long time ago, and that's amazing. And then I bump into another person that's in Bonavista, and and somebody might say, okay, have you got a bit of change or something? So I give them €1, and then later I see them asking everyone else for money. But then they come back to the first few and they say, oh, when they nod. It's always, I didn't find any barriers, none at all. I found some areas where like Santa Cruz, for example, where they have a little bit of a distrust. Like I saw a woman take her bag. Whoa. Okay, and I saw another person lock the doors. They didn't see me until the last minute, and then I was just walking slowly by and they just locked the doors on the car. So there is still that there, but I guess it's how people interpret this. I mean, I guess I go with an explorer's spirit around different parts of the island, and and lucky enough, there's an angel on my shoulder that guides me away from all the bad parts.
That's fantastic. And so, have you spent time in the Los Cristianos, I think is the place, isn't it, in the south, one of the touristic places, and then
Yes.
I can't remember what
Yes.
they're called, but you spent time in you know, that part of the island, and then more,
Yes.
you know, just, and it's been a same experience for you, like a good experience.
I was going to explain as well. So as kids growing up in the UK, we'd come on holiday to Tenerife, which is why it was a shock for me to actually be here. So we'd come on vacation, like, you know, you'd go like as 18-year-olds, you know, you'd all go together and you'd come town to Tenerife. We never knew about Omadana. We never knew about anywhere else. Nowhere else existed apart from Playa de las Americas, Los Cristianos. That was it. So we'd go, you know, we'd do our thing, you know what 18-year-olds are like. And so, you know, and of course, at that time, I saw racism, and I experienced that racism with the police there. They were, you know, banging down the door, you know, and all we were doing was being boisterous. And they hit
boys on holiday.
Exactly.
Or young people on holiday.
Yeah, and they hit one person with the truncheon and everything else, and it was like, oh my gosh. And, you know, so, and over time, I guess, with all the traveling that I do, is that now I see it, but I'm able to diffuse it. And lucky enough, you know, one of the things I would say to a Black person or whoever is coming here is to make sure that they have something like legal insurance. So it helps them to deal with a mess that could be created, because even on this island, they can create a mess. They can make things very, very difficult for you. And if you're not aware or clear on the language so much, then you're going to need some help. And so, you know, with that extra help, even in the UK, I still have legal insurance. I maintain legal insurance wherever I go, because as a person of color, I never know when this surprising mess will suddenly jump up and bite me in the ass. So you just don't know. So I prefer to be calm. Okay, now here's the telephone number, here's the policy, call these people, they will speak to you in your language, and then you have to tell them why you're doing this. And then if I need to make some kind of complaint or go to the court, then I have somebody coming with me.
Okay, but just to kind of be clear, hasn't been your experience here on the island of Tenerife during
not
since,
since being a teenager. I think now, because there's so many things that have happened, there's a lot of fantastic adventures, from, you know, living with the Aboriginals in Australia, to living with the yogis in India, with all of these amazing magical centers and beings and these amazing people with amazing energy, is that you've got nothing inside but to give that energy out again to whoever you meet. And the people feel that, and I guess because the people told me, they said we can't speak what you speak, we don't speak English, but we can feel your energy. So I thought, okay.
Yeah, energy is transferable, and you know, as you've said, you're on the island, you can feel the energy. So yeah, it's important, which is why, you know, we protect, we give, and all the rest of it. So you've been here for 2 years. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to go back to the UK or anywhere else, but what do you miss from the UK?
Oh gosh. That is Marmite. I know we can get it here, but have you seen the price of Marmite here? No, sir. I'd rather work on my own concoction if I can, the herbal one if possible.
Okay.
I miss the selection of great teas that we have. Although from the herbal shops here, you can actually get the great teas. Definitely. One thing that this place hasn't got, and not even in France, is jelly babies. The original jelly babies. These are amazing, absolutely amazing. I cannot believe we don't have them here. But and when my brother comes over, I say, okay, jelly babies. Don't care anything else. I don't need money or clothes, just jelly babies.
Wow. So your three are Marmite, teas, and jelly babies. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Food, not an issue. Seasoning, not an issue. Nothing else. No cook. No.
Different parts of the island here, they cook some very fantastic original and local foods, and it's quite amazing to taste them. And I've got to go to a restaurant which is run by these old ladies that are only open, it's open once a month or something. And I haven't been there yet, but I intend to go there when the visitor comes, and we'll go and find it. And we'll have some of their food. But the food on the islands, even Gran Canaria, is really nice.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. The potatoes with the mojo sauce, it's just potatoes and sauce and fish. It's just very simple food. It's fresh, it's good quality, it's locally sourced, and I acknowledge all of that and appreciate all of that. But it's very basic, very simple food generally.
There is a, go on.
No, that's it. That's what I found.
There is a very good, like that traditional potatoes and that sauce. When we first got here, we had that, and I thought, okay, no, I just give me fish and chips any day, that's it. And then I was taken to a place in Cristianos, a typical, very typical place, very hidden, but people were queuing up down the steps and upwards to go in there, and they have the best these potatoes that I can't remember what they're called. They're those best potatoes.
Arrugadas, so the wrinkled potatoes, that's what they are. The Canary potatoes. You know what they are? You know what the potatoes are? The King Edward potatoes that we have to pay a lot for in the UK. That's what they are. King Edward potatoes. Oh, yeah.
Didn't know that. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
This restaurant they cooked the potatoes beautifully, and also the sauce, they customized the green and that red sauce. There's a green one, they put garlic in, and that persil, and oh gosh, it was, I mean, we went through 3 bowls of that. Just, we couldn't leave. It was like, oh, it's too tasty.
So yeah, maybe it's a good fit for you food-wise. You feel that you've got everything that you need, and apart from the jelly babies and the tea.
No, because I think, no, I mean, you can't beat your family cooking. You can't beat your mother's cooking. You can't beat the African cuisines. The proper yams, the way it's properly cooked, the plantain, the rice and the peas. It's I mean, that, of course I miss that, but I've had that growing up. I wasn't, Marmite I only started to have when I was at the university. And jelly babies, I always had jelly babies since I was a kid. So I never got over those. Never.
So I'm going to ask you a question, because somebody mentioned this to me the other day. You know of, there's apparently a Jamaican restaurant on the island, or one was opened up a few years ago. You know if it's still running? And it was opened up by a radio DJ from Radio 1 Extra. Big Nasty is the DJ's name. So he apparently opened up a restaurant on the island of Tenerife some years ago, but we were talking about it this week, and we're not sure whether it's still in operation or not.
On this island or Gran Canaria? Oh, wow.
Apparently, I don't know whether it's still in operation or not. A lot of businesses couldn't survive the pandemic and then everything that happened after the pandemic. So if you find out, if you let me know, then that would be fabulous.
I will definitely find out and let you know. I haven't heard of it, by the way. I've not heard of it at all. I might come across it, but because I'm slowly coming across so many other Black people that are here, like singers, dancers, entertainers, chefs, just so many different other Black people now that I'm going into different areas that I wouldn't normally go to. Just like Guaza, I think it's called Guaza, that I go to sometimes, and it's got predominantly a lot of Black people there, not expats, but local to the island. It's quite nice hanging out with them a little bit.
That was a question I was about to ask you, so I'm glad that you've gone there. So do you feel need for a Black community? That's part of life. Do you feel that?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you have you been able to create that, or again integrate into a community that was already in existence? Are you getting what you need?
I in answer to your question, somehow it's come towards me. It's been attracted somehow. As I said, I dance on the beach, so people see you, but I'm so much in with the waves and the dance and the ear things in my ears. that I don't see them. So somehow, you know, I met another black guy probably about 2 weeks ago. He said, yeah, I've seen you. I see you on the beach. You're the one that's doing the dancing. I said, oh yeah, okay. But you must be out early. And then you strike up that conversation. So it comes to you. Some of the black people come towards you. Even the ones that sell the blankets and the bracelets, the sunglasses, you know, even those ones, you know, they come, you know, whenever they have a break from selling, either the girl or the boy, they would come, they sit at the table. I just get them a coffee or something like that.
But I'm talking about maybe like friendships and community. So people that you could maybe spend time with, call on, you have each other's number, you know, kind of whole thing, as opposed to kind of people in passing.
I do, yeah. So there's only probably about, say, in the 2 years or coming up to the 2 years that I've been here, there's only probably about, say, 3 black people on my phone. You will be the 4th. So yeah, really. So yeah, it's a very good question. I haven't really looked at it in terms of color. I think let me give you a tiny bit of background. Where I grew up on a farm. And as kids, we don't know what people's color are. It didn't dawn on us. It never dawned on us that we were the only black people in that village. It never, ever dawned on us, not at all.
Where was this place? Where was the farm? It
was in close to Stonehenge. It was a place called Bruton.
Okay.
You know, it was a small village. It's still there now. Not the farm, because my uncle sold it for housing. But it was amazing. It was just amazing. And so so even growing up, we don't see color, and I still don't see color so much when I'm going around. So when black people come in, they're almost the same as other people, but then they're not, because we have another energy that's between us. We know we're part of something together. We know we're part of this interesting spirit, which for now I'm going to call the African spirit. But I also call it, we are the people of the sun, from the sun. And because the sun's always shining for us. It's on our land all the time. Very rare are we going to have, like, you know, some kind of, like, you know, snowstorm or something like that. More like have a desert storm, but no snowstorm. You know,
yeah, here on the island, it definitely would be a desert storm. But yeah, I think we had snow on the island within the since I've been here, we've had snow on the island, which was like a historical first.
Yeah, last year.
That's it.
On the top of Tay Day, we have that here. But yes, in answer to your question, so when we do have black people, I don't really try and hold on to them. It's more of a free, like, flowing. And so when we do bump into each other, oh, free for coffee, or free for tea, or, you know, have a drink or something. So then that's how we get together. But I think
it's not a priority for you in your life, and that's what it comes down to: human beings or human connection, or, you know, those are the priorities for you.
Well, in a way, I mean, and now that I've been here for a bit of time, it is now becoming a priority, because I've seen, as you've already mentioned about that Jamaican restaurant, I've seen a lot of the businesses in Gwaza that have just gone down. They've disappeared. They're not there. And I believe that my background is able to help them in terms of the, you know, the marketing and the communications, and even just the business itself, not to look at the money. That's where the mistake is on the island, is that people are looking at the money so quickly and they don't think long term.
Very, very much the case. Kind of, no long term thinking, no mid to long term thinking from a business perspective, taxi drivers in particular.
Yeah. Oh, then so, I mean, I don't even know where to start, but I can't, you know, I mean, I've got a few things on my plate already, so I don't dare go into helping those areas. But if a black person does come to me and say, hey, you know, I need your help, then of course, straight away, I don't even think about it. Say, okay.
Yes. And is that across the, you know, across the country as a whole, or is that, you know, applicable rather to people here on the island?
It's across the world. We're my brother's doing an amazing work with Ghana people and Nigeria people around their art, getting it out of the country and selling it in different parts of the world. So you know, it's across the world. I think we were born like that.
Fantastic. Something I was about to ask you and I can't remember what it was. So one of the questions I've got for you is, you've been here for a couple of years. Is it fit for you right now? You're getting all the sun, all the food, or everything that you need. The balance is right in terms of, you know, income and outcome. So everything is right for you right now. What does that mean for the future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, 10 years' time? Is this the place for you long term, or is it just a great start?
That's a very good question. That's it. Wow, and loaded. Well, I think the first thing is that this is my permanent home.
Okay.
Permanent. I will.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay, so like the UK was my permanent home, and that's another story, but I won't go delve into that. But when I was in the UK, I would travel to different places, Croatia, India, different places, USA, wherever, for work and those sorts of things. But I'd always come back to the UK. Now, this Tenerife is my home, and I will go from here to France, obviously, to my second home, and always come back here, my first home. I'd go to UK and come back here, and that's it. This is it. This is the permanency. And the people that I know from the different parts of like UK, France, America, Africa, come here if they need to, hang out, chill out with me, which is what they do now at the moment. So I see here as my permanent base.
Okay.
Something about the vibration here has said, no, this is where you stay. You are here. You're supposed to be here. And I don't know if I told you, but during the time I came, the COVID time, it was like, all the borders were closing around the world. I mean, they were just closing. And it was just so amazing. I got here. Of course, you had to fill out the health thing and everything else, and you do all that. But even just as I landed, it's almost like the local people, the people at the airport, they were almost like running to you, or they ran to me and they said, come this way. And I thought, oh crap, I must be in trouble then. What did I do? And they said, okay, right, you go through here, and they seem so happy to actually see you. They seem so happy to see me. I think, oh my gosh. They say, oh yeah, you don't need that paper. That's it. And everything else. We'll take that as a copy. That's it. Yeah, you just go, you go out there. I went to the passport control. Like they looked at the passport and gave it back to me.
Do you think that that's to do with your age? You dress in a particular way, and do you think that that's to do with your age? Obviously, your perspective and the energy that you're putting out has got a lot to do with things. Law, the land, is what rules the situation. But do you think that your age is a positive factor in these situations?
That's a difficulty. I guess it is, because if I was like 16 or 18 again, then obviously they would be, one, I wouldn't probably have as much confidence as I have now as back then. And certainly, I definitely didn't have as much worldly knowledge as I got from the amazing Aboriginals. I mean, it was like being in something of like Dungeons and Dragons. You had the knowledge keeper, you had the wisdom keeper, and you had all these different people that each one you'd be passed around each one. And obviously their energies and their teachings were given to me. Mm-hmm. And so if I didn't have that again as well, and coming here, I'd say that's the factor. That's the factor, is that somehow these energies have been aligned. And so even when I see something like a disturbance, which did happen at the airport, it was just like, you just flow through it. You just
no pasa nada. Don't worry about it.
And some of the mistakes that they make in terms of the banking. Oh my gosh, doing the banking here, really.
Fun and games, the monthly charges. however, often your charges are on the account. Yeah.
If you did in UK, you'd be complaining all the way to the highest, and then you'd obviously get compensation. Here,
You get a resolution to your complaint, yeah, but here,
no, you just have to flow with it. So without those, and so coming here and getting here and the people leading me through, I think it's the energy and the confidence rather than, and the age, as you say, the age, yes, but and getting to an age of where you've got this worldly confidence, where you've got this interesting energy, and where you've got this, and dressing obviously is different. I'm dressed like this because I was on another Zoom call earlier with a client, and that's it. And afterwards, I'm putting on my t-shirt. And I'm down on this mat area here, just on the ground level, because that's also ground as well. I mean, there's the sofa and everything else
because
here.
you've got it faded out the background, so I can't really work out, what's going on.
I didn't realize it. I must have it sorted automatically, because when for the clients, for the clients, they say let's have nothing distracting in the background.
Yeah.
You've seen those YouTubes where the people are running around behind you, or someone's just running out the shower naked, and all their dryness. So
yeah, I do the same thing, but I usually put a tropical background on, which is not great for what I do. Yeah, I hear you. So I think
yeah, age, yes,
it has helped, but that's helped because of your experiences. So you come to the table and you're looking at things from a different perspective. You're not taking things personally, and you're just kind of letting things ride and going with the flow and just enjoying every experience. Is kind of in resume, in summary of what you've said, or how I've understood what you've said. So if we kind of think about bringing things to a close, one of the questions that I'd like to ask you is, what one negative thing and two positive things would you say about living on the island of Tenerife, or living in Spain as a Black expat? What would you like to say?
Ooh, whoa.
One negative and two positives.
Oh yeah, I've got it. Let's go with the bad first. One negative. One negative. I think one negative that I found is that when dealing with or doing the processing of the residency, for example, there was whoever, individual or maybe a group, I don't know, I doubt it was a group, but an individual, it appeared to be so negative, so close-minded, so determined that, no, I'm sorry, you could never have been on this island before 31 December 2020. We're not going to change our mind on that. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And even when their mistakes was pointed out, they still kept on to that immovable, that we're right and that's it. So I think that is a negative. I don't think that helps the island at all. And obviously that person has got to obviously have some help, psychological help, I hope. And then the two positives is that I think the first positive is the local people. Somehow my being knows the indigenous here. I don't know how. I can't explain it. I know they're the indigenous.
Have you had that feeling before elsewhere?
Yes. And it's almost like a recognition of each other. We can't speak the language. We're totally alien on the language, but we recognize that we come from the same place or a similar place. Somehow they recognize me, and I definitely recognize them completely. So that's been an amazing experience. I mean, the indigenous are around us, that they're not 100% visible around us. They tend to be in the background somehow, which is interesting. And you see them during things like the Romerera or the Candelaria that day, August 15th, I think it is. So you see a lot of them then. And then I think that's the positive, it's the people, the local people, the indigenous people, and that energy thing there. And then I think the second positive, actually, I did it the wrong way around. I think the first positive is that I can feel the creator in everything on this island.
Wow.
That is the first positive. And the second positive is the people.
Okay.
Because I'm out there in the morning, you know, walking and talking with the creator. And it's just, I'm just amazed. I did something in I try and keep a daily log. And I said something today that even though I'm in the same place, the place looks different each time I'm here. It's, you know, it's just, I just can't understand it yet.
Sounds like you're in love. Sounds like you're in the right place.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that leads me on to a personal question, and you answer this as you see fit. So, are you single? If you are you looking for romance? Do you feel it's an option there? Have you had opportunities there? Do you answer those questions as you see fit?
Oh, definitely looking for, definitely I would seek romance and love, and obviously, and I am single, and to have children. I love children. So I think the universe will bring that in some shape or form. I don't know how or what and how it's all going to be. But yeah, in answer to your question, yes, that I do look for it, but it doesn't really, because I guess the work and other things like learning language and, you know, other things, you know, the people around. Through the people here, you meet other people. You know, I've had wonderful romantic experiences here. That's true, not a lot, but, you know, just.
Which is good in 2 years, that's good. So you feel you've had some, and that positive feeling and experience left you feeling like you definitely are open to more, and it's available in abundance for you when the time is right.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah.
So then I think that leads us to, do you have anything else that you'd like to say, or do you have any questions for me?
Well, questions for you. I mean, no questions for you, but I think first of all, what I have to say is that this is amazing. It's an amazing experience to actually do this podcast. It's a fantastic idea. Amazing to be reaching out to the Black community, especially. So that people can get in touch with each other, and if they're in El Medano, they shouldn't be scared to come up to me and just say, "Hey, I saw you." You know, I had a woman that was dancing, and there was just to finish up very quickly. I was dancing, and where I was dancing was like there's Mount Rocker, so my back is to Mount Rocker, but there's this amazing dance platform there. Loved it, with the sea lapping up and everything. So I was oblivious to what was behind me. And then this woman had taken this video, and I'll send it to you. And I think to myself, that no one, because no one goes that far. They go a little bit and then they veer off up to the Mount Rocker. They don't go as far as I was. So she's obviously taken this video and she's put it onto the YouTube, because she, not for any reason, but because I think she has a YouTube channel. And then her boyfriend, 2 or 3 days later, says, "Oh, are you the one that was dancing there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, I think my girlfriend has a video of you." Okay, then she can keep it. It's good. I'm sharing the energy.
In life does make it feel like it's a small world. Something similar to me, something similar to that rather happened to me somewhere. So it's that island vibe, I think, which is great. That feeling, that kind of, you know, we're all connected in some way, and you see it over and over again, which is both good and not so good, dependent upon what you want. So I want to ask. Sorry. What would you like to say?
So I think, yeah, your show, your podcast helps, I think, to bring those people together, and I think it'll be amazing. Where however people see, you know, if they bump into, it'd be nice to have a coffee, a chat, and a tea. You know, I think it's a great project.
Thank you very much. Thank you for accepting the call to action, and thank you for your time. And when you're over here on the island of Gran Canaria, please, let me know. We go and dance on the beach somewhere, or we go to my favourite village and kind of feel the energy over there. So then, where can people find you, Daniel?
I'm based in El Medano, and that's my home base.
Do you have a website, a Facebook page? Do you have this website if people want
to get in contact with you? Sorry?
Yeah, if people want to get in contact with you.
Yes, I mean, they can get in contact with me through inyourlife.com, as you've seen, and that gives them a bit more about what I do, how I go around, and and they can see some of the wording, what I write, the storytelling. But that's not just it. I also am working, as I said, with a UK client. The people had their house burnt, or the whole building got burnt down. So my job is to restore their life, and that's another project that's been happening. But inyourlife.com is how they can reach me. They can come through that. It's really amazing. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time today. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your honesty. And I hope that all the great things that you feel about the place that you're living continue that way for you forever and ever. And that I start to feel some of that.
Likewise with you, and it's going to come to you. I know it. This is, as I said, it's amazing what you're doing. It's the energy, the vibrations. I can feel your own persona through this electronic medium comes through straight away. I think it's it's an amazing experience being on here and just talking openly, just freely. There's nothing been held back or anything like that. It's just as you've heard it.
Thank you very much for your openness and your honesty, and I wish you all the best with everything that you're doing, Daniel. And if you've got anything to say, then let me know. And if people want to get in contact with you, then the website again is
inyourlife.com.
There we go. Thank you. Take care, Daniel. Bye-bye.
So it's all one